What is going on, guys? You got Toe114 here. I am bringing you week 15 of the NES. This is the last week of the regular season before the playoffs started, and if I sound a little bit tired, I apologize in advance because it's like 1 in the morning when I'm recording this stuff, and I am really tired, but I told myself I would get this video out the way and done, so here I am. It's the last week of the regular season before the playoffs start. I'm already in the playoffs. It's just a matter of my positioning in the playoffs, and whether I can be as high as number 2. I could drop to like number 5 if I lose potentially. So I had to focus. I had to concentrate. I mean, it doesn't really matter that much to me in terms of whether or not I make the playoffs, as opposed to my opponent, who has to beat me in order to make the playoffs, has a chance to make the playoffs. So the pressure was more on him as opposed to me. So I could just like kick back, relax, and bring a little bit of fun. Some crazy sets. They're a little bit out there, but I still wanted to try to win. I didn't want to get destroyed by his team, and his team was very threatening, very scary. Just a brief overview of my opponent's team of 11. He has a team of Zapdos, Mamoswine, Snorlax, Gardevoir, Jellicent, Armaldo, Mega Charizard X, Lucario, Volcanion, Meloetta, and the Ariados. And of course, my team being Manaphy, Scolipede, Nidoqueen, Cobalion, Hitmontop, Gourgeist, Mega Gardevoir, Kyurem Black, Blissey, Druddigon, and the Lantern. So just to note a couple of things on his team that I really had to be careful of. The Volcanion was a threat. I really didn't have any decent switch-ins to Volcanion other than my Lantern, which is why I had to bring it. The Mega Charizard X was an issue because I didn't really have a switch-in other than my Manaphy, which is why I brought that. And then other strings that could come in and then just overwhelm me, like Mamoswine, Lucario, all these offensive threats he had on his team, and it was really difficult to like prepare for all that stuff, but at the same time try to like have some sort of game plan at the same time. So I really had to like keep that stuff in mind. So just to give you a rundown of the team that I am bringing this week. So first off, we have the Manaphy, abiding by the whole bring Manaphy to every single match you play because it's just that good in League format. So anyway, this Manaphy set, when I looked at my opponent's team, I realized one thing that Manaphy does do is this particular set I'm running on my Manaphy here absolutely destroys its entire team. Because I needed Shadow Ball on my Manaphy because I wanted to hit the Jellicent. I initially had I could have had Energy Ball instead just to make sure I had coverage for the Mamoswine, but it's fine. So I had Shadow Ball, not Energy Ball. I have Scald there for just regular stab, and then there's this Volcanion that's just going to come in and just switch it on Manaphy for days. Note to people in League format: when it comes to a situation between a Manaphy and a Volcanion, Volcanion is not a switch-in, especially when your Manaphy is carrying Ancient Power like mine is. Ancient Power was crucial because after the Tail Glow, if he's not a bulky Volcanion, it could potentially one-shot him after a Tail Glow, which is great. And Ancient Power also hits the Zard X, it also hits the Zapdos, which is perfect. Scald could potentially cripple the Snorlax, deals with the Mamoswine, hits the Armaldo. I can cripple the Lucario with a Scald Burn. So this set actually destroys his entire team. Running max HP, so I can actually take a hit from a Charizard X after a Dragon Dance. If I get a +3 boost, I can hit it with Ancient Power, and if I get the Ancient Power boost, 10% chance, I know, but it would be so much fun if I got that. If I get the Ancient Power boost, so running max HP, enough speed to outspeed Jolly max speed Mamoswine. Man, I am out of it. And the rest of special attack just to give it a boost in power. So that's my Manaphy set. Next up, we have Kyurem Black, who's put in so much work for me since I acquired it in a trade. So this Kyurem Black is a sort of Charizard X lore. as it's rocking the Haban Berry, which weakens one super effective dragon type move. So I can take a +1 Outrage or a Dragon Claw from this Charizard X. Retaliate with my own Dragon Claw. Also I have Fusion Bolt for the Jellicent and the Volcanion. And then I also have Ice Beam and Earth Power just around the coverage. Ice Beam hits the Zapdos. Running Jolly Nature. Even though I have special coverage, I'm running Jolly Nature because I didn't want my special defense to be lower. I didn't want any of my defenses to be lower. I thought there was crucial that I can try to take a hit. And even with the negative special attack nature, Ice Beam can still 2-shot Zapdos if he's not running if he's not running any special defense EVs on the Zapdos. I can 2-hit KO him with an Ice Beam. And Earth Power is a pretty safe spam move for the most part. I can hit the Charizard X. I don't have to like predict if he already Mega Evolve or trying to switch on like a Fusion Bolt, stuff like that. Bulky variants are a lot more easier to deal with, but at the same time a lot tougher to take down. So I had to be wary of that. So that's my Kyurem Black set. Next up we have my Cobalion running an offensive support set here with Stealth. It's pretty much the same set as before. Stealth Rock, Toxic, Sacred Sword, and Iron Head. Iron Head for the Armaldo. Hits the Mamoswine while I happen to lower my defenses. And the reason why I brought Sacred Sword over Close Combat, 2 reasons. 1, I didn't want my defenses to be lowered, and 2, Sacred Sword allows me to deal the most damage to a potential Curselax. If he was Curselax, he can set up me for days on end. And Sacred Sword, even with all those boosts, can bypass the defense boost, still do consistent amount of damage to the Snorlax, potentially 2-hit KO with my spread. So I'm running max attack, 36 EVs with a Jolly Nature. Let me outspeed the Mamoswine, and the rest is in max HP. So this is basically like an offensive tank, so to speak, with my Cobalion here. I can Toxic the Zapdos. I can Toxic the Volcanion on the switch. I can Toxic the Snorlax if it's not immunity, but I'm assuming he'll be I assume for the most part he'd be thick fat, but at the same time, if he could have been an immunity just in case, because if I had something to wear down that Snorlax, that'd be an issue. So that's my Cobalion set. Next up we have Mega Gardevoir, rocking a pretty weird set, so to speak, but in the sense of it really helps out my team. So running Hyper Voice, I have Hyper Voice here for stab. Didn't run Psyshock because nothing on his team is weak to Psychic. So instead I have Thunderbolt here to hit the Volcanion, hit the Jellicent. Will-O-Wisp is here to cripple the Mamoswine, cripple the Snorlax. And the last move I have is Destiny Bond, just in case. Last ditch effort for Gardevoir to take down someone with it. Running no speed again for this Jolly Mamoswine with Timid Nature. After Mega Evolution, max HP, the rest in special attack. I hit pretty hard without max special attack investment. And from the looks of his team, he doesn't really have a decent switch into Hyper Voice plus Thunderbolt unless he Mega Evolves and Mega Charizard X. So I felt pretty comfortable with the Gardevoir set. And if I could take down the Volcanion, my Manaphy has, and I weaken the Snorlax, and I don't know what the Meloetta set could potentially be. It could be like a Calm Mind set, but it couldn't be sub Calm Mind because, of course, Hyper Voice bypasses some substitutes, so it'd be a waste of a good sub. So that's my Gardevoir set pretty much in a nutshell. 5th Pokemon here we had the Lantern. Lantern gives me somewhat of a Charizard X check, running a full physically defensive set with Scald, Volt Switch, Thunder Wave, and Toxic. So I'm running double status this week on my Lantern, simply because I had nothing that wanted to come in on this Charizard X. Initially I had Sugarberry, but my with max HP, max defense, I can take an Earthquake from a +1 Charizard X, cripple it with a Thunder Wave, and then proceed to whittle it down with Scald and Volt Switch, which won't be doing much because it resists. Scald's neutral, but it doesn't hit that hard without investment, and I can get some slow momentum with Volt Switch. So Lantern's job, just to come in, cripple stuff, provide momentum for the team. Can't really ask much more on my Lantern. It's put in a lot of work in these past couple of weeks, and I can't be happier with my Lantern. So that's the 5th point. And last mon, I dabbled with the last mon a lot. I initially had Blissey in this spot. Like I was gonna go like all crazy and go like not offensive, do like a calm mindset, but with like Thunderbolt and Ice Beam. But at the same time, I didn't want to be set up fodder for the Snorlax because I can't touch that with Bolt Beam, and even at +6, I can't do jack to the Snorlax. If he's like an Assault Vest variant, he beats me before I beat it, which would absolutely suck. So I was like, you know what? Nah, leave Blissey in the back. So I figured bring this Hitmon top set, get the Intimidate, weaken the attacks of his Mamoswine, the Charizard Eggs, the Snorlax, the Armaldo, stuff like that. So EV spread offensive Assault Vest set here, with Close Combat, Stone Edge, Sucker Punch, and Bullet Punch. Didn't bring Rapid Spin. I didn't think I would really need it, simply because I can pressure the Mamoswine. Rocks don't really affect me that much, other than my Kyurem, which is fine. I was initially going to bring like Toxic for the Jellicent, but I figured I had enough ways to pressure the Jellicent as it is, so I figured that'd be fine. Close Combat for the Mamoswine, the Snorlax, Sucker Punch and Bullet Punch for priority, and Stone Edge is for the Charizard X and the Zapdos. Max HP and 60 defense. The investment of max HP and 60 defense on my Hitmontop, it ensures that a Psyshock from his Gardevoir would not it would be a guaranteed 2-hit KO on my Hitmontop. So like basically I take a Psyshock from a Gardevoir from full HP, the rest is in attack to boost the power of its moves. So if I can just come in, if you brought the Gardevoir in, if he switches in on like a Close Combat, I can Stone Edge, and then potentially 2 Bullet Punches can knock out the Gardevoir, and I can live with Psyshock. So that was pretty much the reasoning behind me bringing my Hitmontop. Potential leads for him. I could predict him leading with a bunch of mons. I could predict him leading with the Mamoswine just to get up his Stealth Rocks because it was his only hazard setter. But at the same time, if he was like a lead variant, it would be kind of detrimental that he brings like a Suicide lead Mamoswine and potentially Defog Zapdos, which would be very detrimental. So I figured that he'd be like a more offensive Life Orb variant, something like that. So I figured in my case, the best lead for me would be the Hitmontop, as it matches up pretty decently against everything on his team except for the Zapdos and the Meloetta. So even if those matchups did happen, I could just stay in. If he leads up to Zapdos, I could just Stone Edge it, try to do some damage and weaken it for the rest of my team. So as I play the replay here, I'm just gonna leave with my Hitmontop here. He goes in and leads off with his Zapdos, which is absolutely fine by me. So I figure turn 1, I'm just gonna click Stone Edge here just to gauge how much damage it's gonna do. He goes with a Volt Switch, gets a turn 1 crit. Oh, like, okay, that's fine. So now he goes on to Volcanion here. I'm like, oh man, it's gonna get hit by a Stone Edge, and I miss, which sucks. So now I don't really have a switch into his Volcanion, so I just go out into my Lantern. He goes for the Steam Eruption, and oh, I'm Water Absorb. I'm sorry, Volcanion, I didn't expect that. So he's forced to switch out here. He goes out into his Meloetta. I get to get off the Toxic here, so puts thing on a Tyrant, which is great. So he's taking Toxic damage. He hits me with the Energy Ball, which is fine. Didn't really need Lantern much for other than checking the Volcanion, so I get this Volt Switch here. I'm just going to go right out into my Gardevoir, get off a Hyper Voice here, because even if he goes out into Volcanion, I can hit it with a Thunderbolt afterwards, which is fine. So I just get my Mega Evolution off. I go for my Hyper Voice here. See, it does 30%, which confirmed in the back of my mind that this is a especially defensive Meloetta. Goes for the Shadow Ball here. It does about 44%, and I get a special defense drop, which sucks. So he either has one of two plays there after this Toxic damage. He either is going to A, sack this off, or B, he can go into his Volcanion, which is pretty much the only safe thing he has to switch into the Hyper Voice. He could go out in the Charizard here, but it's fine. I could have predicted that and go for a Thunderbolt, but didn't want to play that risk. I didn't want to risk that turn 6, so He makes a safe switch here. He goes on and says Volcanion on the hyper voice, which is fine. Doesn't do much. So now I know for a fact that he's not going to predict this next move I have on my Gardevoir here. So with the special defense drop, I know that I can't live with Steam Eruption. I don't want to switch into my Lantern here because he might go predict me and go for an Earth Power, which would suck. So instead of trying to play this 50-50 shenanigans here, will he go for a Steam Eruption or not, I'm just going to try to bring this thing down with me because Volcanion is an issue. I didn't really fear it that much because I had Ancient Power Manaphy, so it kind of didn't matter if I lost my Gardevoir right here and now. But at the same time, it would hinder him more than it hinders me because this Volcanion being gone means my Manaphy has one less than to worry about on his team. So I'm going to go with Destiny Bond here, try to take it down with me. He goes for the Flash Cannon, which definitely knocks me out after a special defense drop. So Gardevoir drops, Volcanion drops, which is a great trade for me. So now he goes back out into his Zapdos, that I go into my Hitmontop. So from here, I'm just going to click Stone Edge. I don't really care. I'm essentially shacking this thing off. So I go for a Stone Edge here, I miss again. Hitmontop needs sunglasses, man. But it's fine. Get a little bit of justice because he missed the Air Cutter here. I go for a Stone Edge here. That's a clean 2-hit KO. So now I'm just going to repeatedly click Stone Edge here until he takes me out because I want to free switch into my Kyurem at this point. So get another Stone Edge off here. I know he's not going to predict me to have Sucker Punch, so I go for a Sucker Punch here to do a little bit more chip damage, and he takes me out with the next Air Cutter, which is fine. Hitmontop wasn't really doing much, and I had other ways to deal with the Mamoswine and stuff like that. So in comes my Kyurem, and I get a free Ice Beam this turn, no matter what. He goes on into his Mamoswine here. I click Ice Beam. That's still a clean 2-hit KO, even though I am Jolly Nature. Alright, I redid the calc and it turns out it was right. Even with Thick Fat, it's a clean 2-hit KO. So, my play here 100% was to go for the Dragon Claw next turn. He has no Dragon Resist. I was free to click it. I did not expect him to be Scarf Mamoswine because he outsped me. So, I took unnecessary damage, but that's fine. Go for the Dragon Claw here, knock out the Mamoswine. And now this is the play of the entire battle here because essentially here I'm sacking off my Kyurem. Even with my Habanberry, it won't save me from dropping to a Dragon Claw from this Charizard X. And I know he outspeeds me. So there was no reason for me to save my Kyurem. Because even if my Kyurem I let my Kyurem drop here, I go into Manaphy, I live like a Dragon Claw, I go for the try to go for a Tail Glow and setup here or whatever. And try to like bring it back. So at this point I had nothing to lose. So I'm just gonna play Dragon Claw here. I'm essentially sacking this off. And he's gonna over predict me to switch. He goes for the Dragon Dance. He's predicting me to switch out. I'm just gonna go for a Dragon Claw and I knock this thing out. And I'm thinking, oh my god, this is one huge threat is gone. So he over predicted me to switch out to my Lantern. I was essentially sacking this off. It was a very big risky play for me because I could have switched out, sacked off my Lantern. As Lantern didn't serve any more purpose because the Volcanion is gone. But at the same time, if I gave him a free turn of setup, I lose. I couldn't afford that. So, as risky as the play that was, I felt as though it was the correct play in my mind because even if the Kyurem drops, I can still bring it back with my Manaphy. It can take one hit, at least one hit from the Charizard X, and I can go for a Ancient Power. I would have to hope for that I get the speed boost. I get the 10% chance to raise all my stats and all that stuff. I would have essentially lost to the Charizard X if he just straight up attacked me. But it is what it is. So in comes the Zapdos here. I'm just going to click Ice Beam this turn. Almost knock out this Zapdos here. As he goes for the Ancient Power, I live on 4%. And this is why I was grateful that I did not run a minus special defense nature on my Kyurem, because if I did, I would have dropped right then and there. So Kyurem, once again, putting in the finest of work, putting the team on its back. I'm just going to take it out with the next Dragon Claw here. So picking up 3 kills in this battle. Great, great, great. In comes the Snorlax here. I'm just going to click Dragon Claw to get some damage off as he takes me out with a Body Slam, which is fine by me. This gives me a free switch into my Cabalion here. I'm just going to click Sacred Sword. I lose nothing by doing so. He reveals he's Choppleberry Snorlax, which is fine. He goes for the Earthquake here. That's like a clean 3-hit KO after Leftovers recovery. I go for Sacred Sword one more time. I take out this Snorlax, and all he has left is a weakened Meloetta. In comes the Meloetta right here. And I'm just going to click Iron Head, and that is going to be good game. So, despite the risky plays I made, he overpredicted with the Charizard X. So we come away with a 3-0 win. We take the last game of the regular season. We finished the regular season 11-4, riding a now 5-game winning streak, and we have essentially clinched the number 3 spot in the playoffs, which is great. I feel like I played this match a really risky. Like the turning point obviously was the Charizard Dragonancing in front of my Kyurem. I could have preserved my Kyurem a little bit better. I should have anticipated him being like a choice Scarf Mamoswine, like instead of like a Life Orb variant. So I played a risky game. It almost cost me there. What I should have did instead of going out into my instead of risking me being faster than the Mamoswine, I should have sacked off the Lantern and then go out into my Manaphy and get up a free Tail Glow, which I did have the option to do. So once again, my Manaphy did not see the field for back-to-back weeks, which sucks. But nevertheless, it finishes with 14 kills. Kyurem Black picks up 3 more kills. It also has 14 kills. Mega Gardevoir brought down the Volcanion. It has 12. So nonetheless, this was a successful. Nonetheless, whether I win the league or not, I feel as though this was a successful season for me. My very first broadcasted YouTube league in which I am doing well. I'm getting hot at the right time. I'm heading into the playoffs with a lot of momentum. I'm essentially the hottest team in the entire league. So I feel as though I'm doing very well for myself. But at the same time, I can't really get overconfident. I don't want to enter into the playoffs and then like make a complete fool out of myself, because it would suck a lot if I don't perform at 100% and I don't bring up the most that my team has done for me in these past 5 weeks. So that's going to be that. So 11-4, can't complain either way. We're the 3 seed. We don't know who we play yet. The league will be taking a week off before the playoffs start, so it might be a while before we see any more NES action, but there will be other league battles to look out for in the future, which I'll be doing in the next couple of days. So if you did enjoy this battle, feel free to hit that like button. I do appreciate the support. And if you do enjoy the content, feel free to hit that subscribe button, because there's going to be plenty more league action to come, whether it be here as we approach the playoffs in the NES. And there's also the IBL Week 4 match to look forward to, and of course my Week 3 UBA match, which I'll be uploading in the next couple of days. So, like I said, feel free to hit that subscribe button if you enjoy my content. Feel free to follow me on Twitter, where you'll be seeing all the recent updates. I'll be linking all the recent updates to my channel and all that other good stuff. So what can I say? I'm getting very tired, but I appreciate the support, guys, and I can't thank you guys enough for taking the time out of your day to watch my videos. So until the next time, my name is Anthony, aka Tone14, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Later.